if you're going to be late, make sure that you're prepared to be late. So I recently released a video that talked about being on time, being early, getting to work at a good time, not being late. I put a video out about not being late, but that same day I put that video out, ironically I was late. But I want to talk today about what you do when you're late and how to deal with being late, because heaven forbid it's going to happen, and when it does, you got to be prepared. So we're all human, we all make mistakes, and eventually we're going to end up being late. But how we prepare for that is by being on time, not like most of the time, but pretty much all the time. So we do this by consistently being punctual. We got to make sure we are known for being on time, we are known for being punctual, and we're known for being a hard worker who does their best to show up on time, get there on time, and heck, even stay later sometimes to get the job done. We want to be known for the employee that goes the extra mile, who's there to get the job done and do it right, and puts in the time and the effort to do what it takes. And when you're known as that kind of person, and then you show up late, it's going to be easier to get forgiveness than it would be if you're always late, or if you're always just there, just only a few minutes before you're supposed to start. But if you're there on time, consistently, day in and day out, day in and day out, day in and day out, and then you're late one day, it's not going to be the end of the world. But you still want to apologize to your manager, your boss, whatever, and say sorry that you're late. Acknowledge it. Don't hide from it. Acknowledge it. And make a mental note of things you could do in the future to help you be on time. Talked about in the previous video to make sure that you leave early, give yourself enough time to get to work on time. But essentially, the biggest deal to help yourself when you are late is to make sure that you have already been punctual in the past, so it's going to be easier to get forgiveness. But also when you're late, to not rush too fast, because if you rush too fast, suddenly it's going to make things worse. If you allow yourself to get too stressed out about being late, you'll suddenly start to forget things. You'll like lose things. You'll drop things. Like things will go crazier. Things will be worse if you just totally rush in a panic. If you rush in a panic to get to work on time because you know you're running late, and you will be late as it is, it's only going to make it worse. Because if you are operating at a high level of stress and trying to get somewhere, chances are you're going to end up cutting corners at some point in your effort to get there. And when that happens, things are going to be worse than they could have been. You might only have been 1 or 2 minutes late, but who knows? If you were trying to hurry too frantically and you forget something, you drop something, or something happens because you're in that super high-speed rush and you're losing your mind in the process, it's going to make you later. So be careful that when you're late, you allow yourself to be chill, to slow down in your head and be like, hey, I'm a little stressed about this right now because I don't want to be late, but acknowledge that you're late and say, okay, don't freak out. This isn't the end of the world, and don't go at insane speed and end up clipping corners and doing things that make it worse. They might actually make you later, or might make your day harder because you could have forgotten something, or something might happen in the process of that rush that couldn't have happened if you hadn't rushed. If you just been late but not lost your head over it, it would be way better, right? I think we've all had those days where we rush through something and it actually makes it worse. And so that happened to me the other day, and so I'm putting this in here as advice. If you're running late, don't throw everything in there, and don't freak out too much. Don't allow stress to cripple your ability to do things in a way that is effective, simple, and stress-free. As it is, if you are the kind of person who wants to get there on time, you will be a little stressed. That's going to happen, right? Everyone's going to endure some stress when we're late, especially when we want to be there on time and when we are known for being the punctual person. But don't get so stressed out that you lose your mind and you are no longer functioning in the way that allows you to be effective in getting there on time and ready to go to work or ready to have the best day possible. So, it's a public service announcement. These are things to do when you're late, and the things to do to prepare for what the aftermath of being late. You know, it's easier to get forgiveness for being late when you're always on time, when you're always punctual, and if you just keep a cool head when you're late, it's going to make it way easier than stressing out. And then apologize and acknowledge it and look for ways to do better next time. So here's a quick video about being late. Thanks for watching today's video. If you have any comments, questions, concerns, let me know below in the comment section. If you enjoyed this video, hit like, and there'll be more videos to come. Thanks so much for tuning in today. Have a good one.